Welcome back. This weekend we're going to be getting Mosvar Evleov versus Leron Murphy for the main event in London, England. This card, I'm going to be generally honest, is probably the weakest we have gotten since the beginning of this year. But there's still some good things here and there to look forward to in this card. Probably the most important one is the main event. Two undefeated fighters. Who's going to lose their O? Yes, I know Murphy has a draw, but he's still undefeated in the sense of not losing. So yeah, who's gonna lose their O this weekend? Also, this week taking place in London, meaning we're gonna be getting a English audience. Obviously, those guys give it their all to make these cards exciting. You know, the chants, they give a good atmosphere when you're watching these cards. So I do like that as well. And yeah, this card has 14 fights, so I'm gonna speedrun a little bit here and there when it comes to these picks. So yeah, so let's start with the first fight of the night. We got women's bantamweight bout. We got Melissa Mullins versus Luana Carolina. These two girls are okay. Melissa Mullins, she's I'm gonna be quick with this one. Melissa Mullins is a grappler. Carolina, she kind of struggles in the grappling. I'm going with Melissa Mullins. Grappling Luana Carolina probably for around at least 2 rounds. You know, take off 2 rounds in this fight via lay and pray or against the cage. So I'll go Melissa Mullins decision win. Next up at strawweight, we got Chanel Dyer versus Ravena Oliveira. Chanel making her debut from the Contender Series. She lost her Contender Series fight, but it was a pretty decent fight, I would say so. She does look like a really good striker, has a lot of potential. So it makes sense to keep her, to sign her. And she's now making her debut against 0-2 Ravena Oliveira. And it kind of seems like the UFC kind of want Chanel to get a win. And I do agree she is gonna get the win because Ravena Oliveira, even though she's a grappler, I mean she's a striker. She's been fighting grapplers mostly. That's why she's 0-2. Got out grappled in her last 2 fights. Chanel Dyer, way more better striker than Ravena for sure. I'm gonna lean towards Chanel winning a decision, or striking her for 3 rounds straight. And yeah, Chanel, decision win. Next up at lightweight, we got Shamrock versus Abdul Karim Al-Sahada. Shamrock, he's lost his debut fight, but it was against a really good fighter. He's now fighting Abdul Karim Salhali. This Abdul guy, we haven't seen this guy in like around 2 years. Where has he been? And he's canceled a lot of fights as well, so I don't know what's going on with Abdul. But he's finally matched up against Shamrock, finally after 2 years. Shamrock, you know, this guy is, I would say even though he lost the debut fight, he's still pretty good. His striking is okay. But he's kind of big for the lightweight. He is 5'11", big, lanky. And but I would say his main suit is obviously his grappling. He is a dangerous grappler. Really, really good submission game as well. Abdul Karim Sohawi on the feet, his striking is okay, but I don't see any of these guys being a better striker over the other, so it's gonna be kind of competitive. Maybe on the ground, Abdul has some good blast doubles. You know, he's able to take these guys down easily, but I don't think that's gonna help him at all in this fight. I do think if he takes down Shamrock or Shamrock takes him down, he's gonna struggle a lot on the grappling, on the ground, and probably get subbed. And that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Shamrock getting his first win in the UFC against Abdul, someone who hasn't been active in a while. I'm gonna go with a 2nd round submission. I do think the first round can be kind of back and forthy, but the 2nd round is where Shamrock really starts to implement that grappling and gets a submission. So yeah, 2nd round submission for Shamrock. Oi. Anyways, heavyweight bout, we got Mario Pinto against someone making his debut. Mario Pinto was matched up with someone else. That guy pulled out. This guy, props for him to make his debut fight, short notice debut fight against Mario Pinto. Someone who's 6'6", huge for heavyweight, talented, undefeated. This is one of the undefeated fighters on this card. He's really good. Props to Felipe. Felipe also is looking like a monster in his regional fights. Even though it's against, like, you could say, Melman or whatever. But props to him for making his debut. Mario Pinto, I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge at where Felipe really is good at. It's really hard against, when he's fighting, like, these guys that are not that good. So it's kind of hard to gauge if he can, like, beat Mario Pinto, someone who should be fighting higher up in the rankings, probably title fight soon. This guy has a lot of potential. So it's really hard to gauge if Felipe can, upset someone like Mario Pinto. But yeah, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to lean towards Mario Pinto winning a KO, by KO, first round KO. Just because this guy is huge, talented, has been fighting in the UFC for a while, coming off a good win over the knees. This guy should be fighting higher up in the rankings. So yeah. So I'm going to go with Mario Pinto, first round KO, playing it safe. But yeah. Middleweight bout, we got Montez Kondratavicius versus Antonio Trocoli. Montez coming from the contender series as well. That's why you know, these portraits look like that. Coming from the contender series, making his debut. This dude is really good, talented, well-rounded. This guy has a lot of potential at middleweight. He's 6'2", so that's a good height for middleweight as well. 6'2". Antonio Trocoli, this guy is 6'5". This guy is a giant for middleweight. But the thing is, this guy's kind of weird. You know, if you look at his resume, he won his contender series fight, but it got overruled to a no contest. It got overruled to a no contest because of a failed drug test. And then after that, obviously went on like a better winning streak in the regional scene, got signed, but is now 0-3 in the UFC. This guy has no wins in the UFC. And so Antonio Trocoli, I would say he's not well-rounded at all. His striking is pretty poor. His wrestling is He's basically is just a BJJ player at middleweight in the UFC. So he kind of lacks in a lot of areas. And the thing is, this guy is a grappler. A lot of submissions in the regional scene. This guy got subbed twice in a row by standing guillotine by, I forgot their names, but dude, you're the grappler. That's your main suit. And you're getting subbed twice by standing guillotine while you're 6'5" giant. Yo, that is not looking great at all. But anyways, Antonio Trocoli realistically is going to lose to Montez. Montez is pretty good, fast, good striker. I don't think that, I do think he's going to chin him probably in the first, probably within the first 2 minutes. I don't know whether Montez getting the first KO and within the first 2 minutes. So yeah, I know what Montez first round KO win against Antonio Trocoli, who low-key should be cut, if not even be in the UFC at all. But yeah, Montez first round win. Next up at heavyweight, we got Sutherland, my boy Sutherland versus Brando Pericic. Louis obviously lost his debut against Walter Walker, and obviously Walter Walker, yeah, that guy just targets guys making their debut or canned in the at heavyweight for easy wins. This guy is not gonna fight a top 10 fighter at all anytime soon. Walter Walker, I don't know what that guy's doing, but kind of cringe. But anyways, Sutherland got his debut. He's not, I would say he's kind of slightly above average in terms of being a heavyweight, and he's, he has some skill, but obviously, his physique, you look at it, yeah, that dude's a stereotypical heavyweight. Brando Pericic, on the other hand, he's coming out of the city kickboxing. He's coming out of that gym. That dude's 6'5". He's a giant at heavyweight. He's very skilled on the feet, very talented, has a lot of potential. I don't think he's undefeated. I think he has like 1 loss. So, but either way, he's still really good. Another thing, Sutherland's grappling is gonna, like, even though Sutherland has some good grappling, I don't think that's gonna like play a factor into this fight. I don't think it's gonna be much of a threat to Brando. I do think Brando's gonna get a first round KO against Sutherland. I do like Louis. It's just, come on, like, it's just a bad matchup for him. Walter Walker, then this guy, yeah, it's not looking too good for Sutherland. But yeah, I know what Brando Perisic getting a first round KO win. Next up, we got featherweight. We got Nathaniel Wood versus Keita. This guy obviously got cut against Pitbull because he missed weight. Fought 0 times. This guy fought 0 times and then got signed again. So I don't know what that was about. But yeah, Keita now making his debut against Nathaniel Wood. Hopefully he makes weight this time at featherweight. And he's fighting someone who's much smaller than him, Nathaniel Wood. Keita, he kind of gives me, I'm going to be genuinely honest, this guy, even though I wasn't making YouTube videos back then, but back when Patrick Mix got signed, I was saying this guy is a fraud. This guy is not good at all. This guy's gonna get destroyed at the UFC. Now, don't get me wrong, Keita is very good. He's not as bad as Patrick Mix. It's just he kind of gives me that vibes that a lot of people are hyping this dude up. A lot of hardcore fans, hey, this guy's gonna be champ one day. He's not that good. He's fighting out of Octagon. That Octagon's kind of like a LFA or Cage Warriors when it comes to like, it's a like kind of popular regional scene. So obviously a lot of guys from these promotions get recognition before they even enter the UFC. There's one of them. It's just he's been fighting Millman, and even then, if you look at his fights when he's fighting Millman, he's not really doing that good. Like he's good, he's winning. I think he has like 1 loss, but he really is okay. Like he even fights just like a very basic game plan, which is basically bounce, jab, reset, bounce, cross, and reset, and then rinse and repeat. That's basically all Keita does, really. It's really simple. He's gonna be fighting someone like Nathaniel Wood, who is really good. He's coming over a win over Delgado. Delgado is really good. If not, I would say there's a step down in competition from Delgado for Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood is really good. And if not, you could also say he's probably Lucien Keita is like not even as good as Morgan Charrier as well, who was his second last win for Wood. I don't know. I do think he's gonna win. Listen, there's a chance. This is a UFC fight. Anything could happen. Lucien Keita is big and powerful, and Nathaniel Wood is small. In general, he's small for featherweight, but he's small. There's a chance Nathaniel Wood could land one punch and change the fight, the outcome of it. But on paper, I'm gonna go with Nathaniel Wood. I do think he wins this fight by a decision, just showing Lucien Keita levels. And Keita as well hasn't fought in a while. He hasn't fought in over a year since because the UFC decided to sign him after he fought 0 times. But yeah, Lucien Keita, I do think he's probably gonna lose this fight. But even if he gets past Nathaniel Wood, I don't think he's gonna be anything special. I mean, he could get some wins here and there, but yeah, I'm gonna win Nathaniel Wood decision. Last fight on the prelims, we got Mason Jones versus Axel Sola at lightweight. This one's a underrated banger. I do like this matchup a lot. Mason Jones, he got re-signed to the UFC as well. Is now on a 2-fight winning streak, 2-0 right now. And he has some crafty combinations. You know, when he's in the pocket, his combinations are nasty. The biggest issue with him on the feet is his footwork and his speed. His footwork is kind of slow, and then his speed in general is slow as well. So, you know, he is a kind of, you know, he kind of walks into range and stuff. But when he gets in there, he lands some nasty shots. His grappling also is pretty dangerous. I want to say dangerous, but I would say it's good enough for in the UFC to get a submission here and there. Axel Sola, this guy is compared a lot to Conor McGregor in terms of being a southpaw fighter, fighting in the karate stance, which to me doesn't really make too much sense because this guy doesn't really look like Conor McGregor at all when he's fighting. The stance is basically all as far as it comes to the comparison. Because when he fights, this dude has a good jab, but this dude gets into brawls. This guy really, you know, throws like overhands, like wild exchanges. He's not like accurate, precise. He doesn't have the finesse of Conor. He's not like roofy. So I don't know. This guy, his style it doesn't really match his stance. But he's still pretty good. He got a KO in his debut fight. Really good performance for Axel Sola. And so he's really good still. I would say I do lean towards Axel Sola in the striking, even though Mason Jones can make it dirty with with this combinations of his. That's why I'm excited for this fight. I do lean towards Axel Sola, probably outstriking him and probably getting a KO later on. The thing is, Mason Jones obviously going back to his grappling could be a big factor in this fight. The thing is, I really haven't seen Axel Sola's grappling like that much, and so it's really hard to even gauge if he's able to defend Mason Jones' grappling or not. And Mason Jones could take down Axel Sola, Mason Jones wins. If Axel Sola could defend the grappling, he wins. So it's really that type of fight, really. But I'm gonna lean towards Axel Sola. This guy's another undefeated fighter on the card. I'm gonna go with Axel Sola decision, if not a 3rd round KO. But I'm gonna go with Axel Sola winning. But yeah, first fight of the card, we got featherweight on the main card. I mean, we got featherweight. We got Curtis Campbell versus Danny Silva. Curtis making his Contender Series debut. This guy is another undefeated fighter on this card as well. And so this guy's mainly just a grappler. And I say that because he has some really good takedowns, some really nasty judo trips. And he has a submission here and there. Good top control. But that's as far as it goes. His wrestling, pure wrestling is okay. And his striking is pretty poor. I'm going to be honest. It's not that good. He legit is flat-footed. It's just not good. And he's now facing someone of Danny Silva. Danny Silva is pretty good. He's well-rounded. He was in a bit of a winning streak in the UFC up until he fought Kevin Pendejos, or Vallejos, I mean, who, you know, that was his last fight. And he went 3 rounds with that guy. You know, we just saw Vallejos decapitate Emmett in 1 round. Danny Silva won 3 rounds with that guy, and he had a really good moments. That's his only loss in the UFC against Vallejos. He looks really good. His striking is pretty good. Grappling, well-rounded. You know, I would say Curtis Campbell can probably out-grapple with Danny Silva, but I see Danny Silva surviving, getting back up, and putting a beating on Curtis on the feet. So yeah, I'm going with Danny Silva. I do think he's going to win. I do think he's going to probably win by decision. I feel like Curtis Campbell can, with the grappling, could edge out to a decision, but still lose and not get a chance survive with the grappling. I'm going with Danny Silva decision. Now listen, Curtis Campbell could probably win. He could probably ragdoll Danny Silva here and there, win by decision. But his style is not future-proof. I do think he's going to struggle a lot later on if he does win this fight. But I'm going to go with Danny Silva stopping Curtis Campbell and giving him his first O. Next up at middleweight, we got Roman Dolidze versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Oi, bruv. Roman Dolidze, this dude, whenever he's on a card, I'm going to be genuinely honest. Whenever I see Roman Dolidze on a card, dude, I just be like, I just get like, what is going on? Like, can we cut this? No, I'm joking. Roman Dolidze is pretty good. It's just, he kind of is like a Marvin Vettori 2.0, where his style, the way he fights, everything about him, there's nothing interesting to look at. It's just, he's just well-rounded, and that's about it. He's like mid everywhere. You can tell he takes his time to be disciplined in every single martial art. But, I mean, it's just, he's good. It's just, that's about it. And so obviously, if Roman Dolidze fights like a striker, he gets outstruck by the striker. If he fights like a grappler, he gets outgrappled. So obviously, Christian Leron Duncan, obviously being the striker, he's gonna get outstruck by Roman Dolidze. I mean, Christian Leron Duncan is gonna outstrike Roman Dolidze. So the path for victory for Roman Dolidze is the grappling. And we have seen Christian Leron Duncan be put in bad positions here and there in the grappling against RoboCop. But RoboCop has way more better grappling than Roman Dolidze. And also against Marco Tulio, but Christian Leron Duncan was easily able to reverse Marco Tulio and get the KO win. I was one of the few people that choose Duncan to win that fight, by the way. And I'm going to pick Duncan as well. I do think Roman Dolidze's grappling is not going to be that much of a big factor in this fight. I do think it's gonna be like a struggle here and there, probably up against the cage, hold Duncan. But for the most part, I feel like Duncan's going to win the rounds with his dynamic striking. Even though I feel like some of it is kind of unnecessary, he could probably be more technical and have better performances like that. But him being Duncan, it does kind of win him fights as well. And I'm going with Duncan decision. I don't think you could chin Dolidze. Dolidze has a pretty good chin. But yeah, I'm going with Duncan decision. Next up, we got at light heavyweight, we got Ivo Baraniewski. I don't think he's undefeated. Or maybe, I don't remember if he's undefeated or not. Let me actually check. Yes. Okay, so we got another undefeated fighter fighting Austin Lane. Austin Lane coming down from heavyweight. And now, I do not understand this decision because the issue with Austin Lane at heavyweight really wasn't his size. This dude was coming in at 240, 250, and he's 6'6". The biggest issue Austin Lane had at heavyweight was just that he was just not that good at all. Like, he legit was probably just like a regional fighter in the UFC, you know. And now he's coming down to a lightweight where obviously the skill difference is gonna be much bigger. These guys are more skilled than heavyweights, and you're gonna add on top of it, Austin Lane's gonna be cutting weight now this time for 205. So it's just really questionable why Austin Lane is coming down to light heavyweight. It doesn't make too much sense. He's fighting someone who is undefeated, who has a lot of potential at light heavyweight as well. This dude is pretty good. Austin Lane, I don't understand. He can, like, listen, you can say he has the height advantage, the size advantage, the reach advantage, but he's 6'6". We already have another 6'6" light heavyweight, as in Johnny Walker, and this is Austin Lane being he's basically just a unskilled Johnny Walker. So yeah, I'm going with Ivo Baraniewski getting a first round KO win. I don't know why Austin Lane is coming down. If not, he should retire. But yeah, I'm going to go with first round win. Ivo Baraniewski continuing his undefeated streak. Next up, we got welterweight bout MVP versus Sam Patterson. This is the people's main event. This is the people's main event right here. I'm excited for this one. You're excited for this one. This is the one we're all waiting for. This matchup right here. We got MVP, someone who has a big name, fun style to him, and Sam Patterson is an up and comer, making a lot of noise. He's has a lot of potential at welterweight, making a lot of noise. He's on a 4-fight winning streak, 2 by sub, 2 by KO. Sam Patterson, if he wins against Michael Venom Page, this will skyrocket him to a huge name in the UFC. Sam Patterson, this dude has a lot of potential, and he is now fighting Michael Venom Page. He got himself a MVP fight. Like, that's pretty good for him. And MVP, you know, he's 38. He's up there in age now. And, you know, he's 4 fights into the UFC, while Sam Patterson in a 4-fight winning streak. MVP has been going to decision. He's 3-1 right now. Hasn't given us that highlight KO he's been getting like everywhere before he in the UFC at Bellator. So still hasn't given us that, only all by decision. The thing is, he's 3-1. He was only lost to Ian Gary. He has been fighting really good guys. Jared Cannonier. Shera is probably the weakest opponent, or not, Kevin Holland, between those two. But Ian Gary, his only loss was to like a really close decision loss. And he turned Ian Gary to a wrestler. And to this day, that loss is aging like wine. Ian Gary, you know, this dude is probably gonna fight soon for a belt, if not Morales. But still, Ian Gary's going to like a really close decision loss to that guy is really good. Ian Gary probably is probably the number 2. My bad. Probably like the number 2 fighter right now at welterweight. If Shavkat wasn't injured and nowhere to be seen, probably he would be like number 3. But right now he is number 2. and going to a close loss to that guy is really good visual for MVP. And we really haven't seen MVP be put in bad position on the feet at all. This dude is still, he's outclassing every single fighter. Like Kevin Holland, Ian Gary, Shera, who is like a really good kickboxer. You know, and that's at middleweight. You know, the skill depletes at middleweight, but still, you can kind of say Shera is like a welterweight at middleweight. He is kind of small, and obviously is a really good striker. MVP also fought a powerful boxer, as in Jared Cannonier. And so, I don't know, like what I'm trying to say is there's really nothing Sam Patterson brings to the table that Michael Venom Page hasn't seen in the UFC, you know? Powerful boxer, Cannonier. Patterson has some power at welterweight, but he's not as good as a boxer as Jared. Kickboxing, Shera, Ian Gary. Well-roundedness, Ian Gary, Kevin Holland. Dangerous grappling, Kevin Holland, Ian Gary. And Ian Gary almost subbed Shavka, by the way. Just don't not forget that. He almost subbed him. And almost subbed Michael Venom Page. And Michael Venom Page as well survived. He also survived the rear naked by Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's had some nasty submission games. And so, listen, the only bad parts he's been put in is by like guys that are really good grapplers. He was late and paid by Jared Cannonier, but you know, Jared Cannonier, pretty big. Even though like size-wise, mass-wise out, middleweight. And so, and also I think Michael Venom Page slipped in that fight, and that's why Jared Cannonier got to him and held him down. But anyways, he's not fighting Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson has like, I would say on the feet, he's going to get, let's be honest, we all kind of already kind of know he's going to get destroyed on the feet if he stays up and decides to strike with Michael Venom Page. He matches up with him in size, height, 6'3". But we've seen better strikers as in Ian Gary or Shera get lit up on the feet. So yeah, he's definitely gonna have to go the Ian Gary route and turn into a wrestler, and have to be the first one to ever submit Michael Venom Page ever as well. Listen, MVP is up there in age, so I don't think it's like that crazy for Sam Patterson to submit MVP. But MVP is still looking pretty good for 38. You know, he's still very agile, and Sam Patterson is gonna have to close that distance. Listen, Ian Gary has phenomenal footwork. Kevin Holland has phenomenal footwork. Sam Patterson doesn't really. I wouldn't say he has the footwork to match these guys in terms of closing the distance and then go for the grappling. I do think Sam Patterson's gonna have a much harder time closing the distance to get that submission, to get the takedown and transition to the bag and get a rear naked choke or something like that. I don't know. I do think right now I do think a 38-year-old Michael Venom Page is still very dangerous, still good enough to stop a up-and-comer prospect at welterweight who is on a 4-5 winning streak. Maybe this is the first time Michael Venom Page can give us a KO in the UFC. But yeah, I do think he's still gonna win. Sam Patterson, yeah, I do think he's gonna lose this one. So I'm gonna go with Michael Venom Page's decision. I don't think he's gonna get the KO, but maybe for 3 rounds, I don't know. But I'll go with MVP winning this matchup. I do think he's good enough at 38 to still win against a guy like of this caliber. So yeah, MVP decision. Now for the co-main, I did talk a lot for MVP versus Sam Patterson, so I'm gonna make this one quick. By the way, we got co-main, we got Luke Riley, another undefeated fighter, against Mikel Aswell Jr., aka BSD 2.0, or not 2.0, but like he looks a lot like him. Luke Riley, he won his debut fight against Bogdan. I forget his name, something Bogdan. Won his fight. It was kind of a stylistic nightmare because Luke Riley isn't really a good grappler, and Bogdan is a pretty good grappler, and he was able to survive the first round. He was getting out-grappled a lot in that first round. It was to survive, and then got the KO in the second round. So a good win for Luke Riley, even though, you know, if Bogdan wasn't dumb and kept on grappling, he could have won. But anyways, he won his first fight, and so the UFC looked at that fight and was like, oh, we need a good matchup for him where he could win on the feet and someone we know he could probably beat. And so they looked at Bogdan, who he beat, and Mikel Aswell Jr. is in that resume. He has a win over Mikel Aswell Jr. Bogdan. He beat him in the Contender Series. He also has a win over another fighter, but that guy is cut from the UFC. So Mikel Aswell Jr. is probably the only option for Luke Riley to fight for an easy layup win, because Mikel Aswell Jr. he's kind of well-rounded, but he's mostly just a striker. So yeah, there's a good stylistic matchup for Luke Riley. Luke Riley, obviously, he's big, powerful in general, and has explosive striking. So yeah, I do think this is gonna be a close one. I do think the first 2 rounds are gonna be kind of even. Mikel Aswell Jr. is pretty good himself, good combinations. Is no bum in general, but he's still make it pretty dirty against Luke Riley. But I feel like Luke Riley with the plot armor this guy has some plot armor. This dude's gonna get the win. I feel like Luke Riley's gonna get it done. Probably in the late, probably a 3rd round KO, if not by decision. But I'm gonna let Luke Riley winning this fight by 3rd round decision. So yeah, now for the main event, the one we've all been waiting for. The two undefeated fighters facing off. Who's gonna lose their O? These guys have a combined record in the UFC of 3 wins, 1 draw, and 15 decisions. So that is crazy, you know. 15 decisions. Obviously, this fight is gonna go to a decision. Listen, if Diego Lopez couldn't take Mosvar Evleov out of there, Leron is not going to be able to do that. This fight definitely is going to be going the full 25 minutes. This fight really is going to come down to a skill match, basically. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who's the more skilled fighter out of these two. Both of them look pretty good. This is obviously going to be a #1 title contender against Volk. So it's going to be a good matchup for these two guys. I'm pretty sure Volk, after he fights one of these guys, is probably going to retire. So it kind of makes sense why these guys fight each other rather than, you know, take their turn against a Volk. So yeah, Volk probably only has like 1 fight left, so yeah, so it makes sense, you know, to do this rather than have both of these guys fight Volk. But yeah, Mosvar Evleov, you know, obviously you look at him, you look at his name, he's gonna be associated with like the Dagestanis or like the fighters from that region, as in like this guy has some nasty, dangerous wrestling, and from what I've seen, this guy really hasn't that type of wrestling. He's really not cut from the same cloth in terms of the dangerous grappling from these guys. He's not Khabib or Islam or Hamza in terms of the wrestling. Listen, he has some really good takedowns, really good sprawls. This guy's his sprawl game is really good, but that's about it. I would say he really does struggle keeping his opponents down or even submitting. He has 0 submissions in the UFC, and so he's I don't think that's gonna be much of a trouble for Leron Murphy. Leron Murphy is a really good, like, this guy has some good takedown defense and some good wrestling of his own. I could see Mosvar Evleov taking down Leron Murphy here and there, but I don't think he's gonna be ragdolling Murphy at all for 5 rounds straight. I do not think so. I do think the grappling, Leron Murphy can do a good job defending it. So listen, and the thing is, Mosvar Evleov on the ground or even on the feet, he isn't really even looking for a finish as well. You look at Mosvar Evleov when he's fighting, he's not looking for the KO, he's not looking for the submission. Even though there's a submission right there for him to take, Mosvar Evleov does not go for it. He legit just keeps on wrestling, and eventually his opponents get back up. So I do think Leron Murphy is gonna be eventually, he's gonna be like taken down here and there, but he's gonna get back up, and then it's gonna be a stand-up battle for the most part, in my opinion. Mosvar can defend some takedowns here and there. Also, Mosvar has been taken down himself as well. This dude has been taken down by lesser opponents. So there's that. So I do not think Mosvar Evleov is going to be able to ragdoll Leron Murphy for 5 rounds straight. Not in the same style as Islam or Hamza in their last fights, or Khabib in general. Yeah, on the stand-up, Leron Murphy, this guy is very patient, very technical, way more technical than Mosvar. Mosvar is like a brawler, basically, on the feet. Leron Murphy is a technical striker, nasty elbows as well. He opened up Emmett with an elbow, KO'd Aaron Pico with a spinning back elbow. This dude's elbows are nasty. And so this Leron Murphy, this dude, even though he has like very rarely has KO'd opponents, his stand-up is pretty good. The thing is, Mosvar Evleov, even though he's just a brawler in a sense, he's not really that technical. From what I've seen, Mosvar Evleov legit is a really good striker. His footwork is phenomenal. His timing, his in and out blitz, dude. This dude, I don't know how this dude Mosvar looks like he's like striking with his elbows out, but he's still landing. Like, this dude has accuracy and precision without the technique. So I don't know how Mosvar Evleov is doing it, but this dude on the feet is very underrated. On the ground, he's overrated. On the feet, he's underrated. That's how I will explain Evleov. And so his striking is really good. His jabs are nasty as well. I do think that jab could be a really good job. Could be a really good thing for Evleov in this fight. You know, keeping away from Murphy, staying away from those elbows. And I could see him landing that jab consistently on Murphy. Someone who, like I said, is patient, a bit flat-footed on the feet. And Mosvar Evleov, this dude is very active on the feet. He circles a lot, moves around a lot, lands a jab, boom, boom, boom. And this dude also has a really deep tool bag as well on the feet, which I was not expecting at all. The dude is, you know, on the feet is very good. Nasty elbows, knees, flying knees, a lot of good combinations. even though the Mosvar Evleov looks like a brawler, this dude is really good on the feet. It's very impressive, how, like from what I've seen. So low key, I do think Mosvar Evleov is gonna beat Leron Murphy on the feet. If I'm gonna be genuinely honest. So it's kind of ironic, you know. I could say Mosvar Evleov not ragdolling Murphy at all, but on the feet, Evleov is probably gonna outstrike Murphy. Murphy, you know, he's good. It's just I don't know. Evleov can do a good job. Listen, Murphy is kind of bigger. He kind of has like a slight reach advantage, but Evleov with his footwork and his speed can do a good job maneuvering around Murphy, you know. So I could see Mosvar Evleov getting the better on the feet. And also, this is his first 5-rounder for Evleov. This is his first 5 rounders. He's only been on 3 rounders. Murphy, this is his third 5-rounder. But the thing is, Evleov, you know, he's been looking really good in the 3rd rounds, like still very active, and he looks like he can go 5 rounds straight. And you know, usually these guys, unless you're like Shamil or I forgot the other guy's name. Unless you're Shamil, usually these guys have really good cardio. You know, these guys train out in the mountains, high altitude. So I do not think this guy's gonna have a struggle for the 5-rounders. Maybe just the experience of 5 rounds. But the cardio itself, I don't think is going to be much of an issue for Evleov. So I don't think the whole 5-rounder thing is going to play too much into effect for this fight. But yeah. And the last thing I want to go over is Evleov, his last 3 fights. The thing about Evleov is because he doesn't even look for a finish. He's gonna have a guaranteed 15-minute fights with Diego Lopez, with Arnold Allen, with Aljo. And so obviously, if you're going to be spending 15 minutes with these guys in the cage, you're going to be put in bad positions, obviously. So that's why he's been getting a lot of close fights with Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez put Evleov in a couple submissions, almost subbed Evleov like twice or 3 times. Arnold Allen, you know, Arnold Allen had a really good 3rd round, almost like landing nasty knees on Evleov. Also Aljo, you know, the sprawlings, the wrestling back and forth between these 2 guys. Obviously, it was a really close fight. Because this guy can't finish a fight, he really puts himself in these like positions to be in really close fights, but against really high level fighters, you know. And so also, dude, if Evleov just decided to develop some finishing game, some submissions or some KO power, because the thing is, Evleov on the street really doesn't overextend. He throws really just arm punches. This dude doesn't really use his hips at all. You could kind of say it because he kind of wants to use the striking to set up the grappling. But if he does get to develop some power, this dude will be, I would say Mosvar Evleov will be like pretty good, like almost like Ilya level, you know, perfect basically. This dude will be perfect, just like Ilya. No, I'm joking. But Evleov, if he just develops some finishing power, some finishing ability, he would be really scary to fight. But because he is more of just a decision merchant, making Merab, making Kyle Barajo, making Murphy look like finishers, that's why he's been put in bad positions. So there's that. And the thing is, he's fighting Diego Lopez. He's fighting Brendan Allen. Arnold Allen. He's fighting Aljo. These guys are really good. You know, we just saw Lopez go 5 rounds with Volk. Aljo, Loki should be fighting Volk as well anytime soon. Well, who is he fighting? He's fighting someone right now, but if Aljo wins that fight, he's going to be fighting for the belt soon. He's fighting really good guys. Leron Murphy's last 2 opponents were Aaron Pico and Emmett. So, you know, and he's number 3 right now. I don't know how Murphy is number 3 right now in the rankings, but having wins over those 2 last guys, he's somehow number 3. Mosvar Evleov has been fighting way more better competition. Obviously, like, I don't know, like, and the thing is, obviously Lopez has powerful, dirty boxing. Murphy doesn't have that. He has like he fought 3 rounds with a really good wrestler as Aljo. Murphy doesn't really have that. He fought a really high level technical striker as in Arnold Allen. Murphy could have that, but Arnold Allen is way more active on the feet, very good. A lot of people are underrating Arnold Allen as well just because he lost to John Silva. So, but Arnold Allen is really good. Okay, so don't think that's a bad win. I'll be genuinely honest. I do lean towards Mosvar Evleov winning this fight, being 1 step ahead of Leron Murphy throughout the whole 5 rounds. I'm gonna be genuinely honest. And the grappling, even though Murphy he's not gonna be able to outgrapple Murphy or like ragdoll him, I do think he's gonna his stylistic matchup of grappling into the striking into the grappling is gonna be really hard for Murphy. Murphy, he really hasn't been fighting grapplers like that as well. Like Arnold Aaron Pico, even though he has really good wrestling, that he didn't wrestle in that fight. Emmett, also the same thing. He has really good wrestling, but doesn't really wrestle. Like, he really hasn't been fighting. And before that, I don't remember exactly. I was like, these and Dan Ige, you know, he's been fighting guys that are not wrestlers like Mosvar Evleov. Even though Mosvar Evleov is not like a Khabib or anything like that, like I said earlier, the mixing of the striking, who Mosvar Evleov has really good underrated striking, and so the wrestling, I do think it's gonna be a little bit too hard for Leron Murphy. So I feel like Mosvar Evleov is gonna be one step ahead for the 5 round straight and probably win a decision. So listen, this is a good one. This is a fight, a close one. Leron Murphy could win this fight. Don't get me wrong. I low-key do want Leron Murphy to win, but stylistically, I'm gonna go with Evleov. Listen, I do not care about Evleov. He can get cut tomorrow, and I wouldn't care. It's just from what I've seen, I am gonna lean towards Evleov winning this fight. Mostly on the feet, ironically, but yeah, I'm going with Evleov decision win. Yeah. So yeah, those are all my picks. If you think otherwise, let me know. Let me know your opinions as to who wins and why they win. I like to read your comments. And yeah, if you come this far, please like and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.